Hi, 6th, 7th, and 8th graders. I'm going to take a minute and work a little bit with you today about how to do rhythms. I just did a couple of videos. I'm trying to do a whole lot of videos in a single day because it makes it a little bit easier for me. That way I can focus each of my teaching days on answering your guys' questions, listening to EEI, to anything that you're sending me, and so forth to help you guys out through all this. So, excuse me, hopefully we will understand what I'm going to cover today, and it will help you guys with the rhythms in your music. Although we're almost past the point of all of our rhythms really being in our music all the time, it's sometimes harder to find these, but they do pop up. Great example is all the 16th notes that we have in that festival of rondo, and we have some 16th notes like in first violin parts a lot, and some dotted rhythms and things like that. So I'm just going to go through why certain notes get certain rhythms and do a little bit of counting, but I'm going to give you guys a worksheet because I don't think I need to hold your hands through this nearly as much as I just did with my 4th and 5th graders. All right, I hope everything is going great for you guys. Practice, 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 please. Keep those skills going. Make sure you are tuning those instruments before you play. I would start with those scales every day, and I would go ahead and make sure that you always end with something fun. So, like I said in a previous video, my Will is currently wants to learn Megalovania, something like that, Megalovania, and so we're actually learning it. And it's a little bit hard for him because he's in his first year of instruction, but he's excited to learn it. So let's do that. Let's take the last couple minutes of your practicing every day and learn a new piece that you want to learn. I also have him working on a really easy duet with me and some things like that. So keep up those playing skills, all right? Okay, so let's do some rhythms. Okay, let's talk time signatures just to make sure we have it. When we have two numbers, our two numbers mean two different things. The top one tells us the number of beats per measure. And I'm going to put a period by that measure because that's how we indicate measures. And then the bottom number is a fraction, okay? This is where we take the 4, we turn it to 1 over 4, so make the top number a 1. That tells us, that means that a quarter note is going to equal 1. That was sloppy. If we have, instead, if we have a 2 on the bottom, for example, if we have 2 time, then we would have 2 beats in the measure, and we would have a half note would equal 1. Okay, so just so you understand, there we go, just so you understand how that kind of works before we get too far into this, okay? So you want to look at the time signature. The things you're going to be seeing would be 3-4, 2-4, 2-2, and 4-4 right now for 6th grade. Add in 6-8 for the 7th and 8th graders. We do have a couple pieces that I play with them occasionally that are complex complex meters like 5-8 or 7-8, but those things I kind of teach on the moment because we don't see too much of that in junior high. So these are time signatures. Hopefully you got it. All right. Okay. Let's do some rhythms. We're going to just make everything 4-4 for right now. Okay. Okay, so my advice is for you to take the video and put it on pause, write this one out on a piece of paper, and go ahead and do your counting underneath right now. I'm going to try and send you guys some worksheets to go with this, but in case that doesn't work, at least you have something that you can still do. All right, so go ahead and pause the videos, do it on your own first, and then we'll do it together. Okay. Hopefully you're ready. Hopefully that was easy for you. So this one isn't too bad, but I incorporated a couple different things. We have a dotted quarter note here with an 8th note pattern, which we see all the time, and 16th notes, which 6th graders, you just learned your 16th notes. So hopefully this isn't too hard for you. Okay, so watch. We already know a dotted quarter note equals 1.5 beats. It is a quarter note, which equals 1 count plus half of another quarter note. So 1 plus half is 1.5. So we would go 1 and 2. Big and right here. because this is a flagged eighth note. And then these are beamed eighth notes. So that's 3 and the big 4 with a little and. We want to make sure we see those eighth notes all the way through this measure, because if you have any eighth notes, you want to just be able to count all of your eighth notes in your head while you're playing this. So what we do is we show them really small, like an exponent next to a number, and it works out really well. So if you want to type a response to me on some rhythm patterns, then go ahead and just simply use an exponent if you have that option on your device. So it's a little bit smaller number at the top. If not, just make a smaller font for those, and I will just presume that as long as it's a obvious smaller font, that it is supposed to be a duration of a note. Okay, you guys? All right, so the next measure. Ready? This one's pretty easy, except that these are 16th notes. So now we want to see all the 16th notes in the measure. Okay, so we have big 1, little e, big and, little big 2, little e, big and, little big 3, big e, big and, big Hopefully you got that. That was a lot. And then in parentheses. Why is it in parentheses? Because it's a rest. Okay? And we have 4 with little e and all in parentheses. So that's that rhythm. Okay? Hopefully you got that one. That shouldn't be too bad. Okay? This actually covered a lot of what we have to do. So let's do another rhythm pattern. I'm going to be sneaky though. So okay, so this is just 6th grade. We went through this in our book as well. This is really just the idea. Yes, I have my coffee. This is the idea of moving the pairing up 2 16th notes with a 8th note, and because that forms a full beat, that's why it's beamed together. And we have 2 different kinds here. So go ahead and pause this video and go ahead and do it on your own. All right, are you ready? Oh, another drink of coffee, right? I know. Happy Mrs. White. Okay, so here we go. All right, did you get all the answers? All right, so we're going to start with 1 always. And you can actually, if you have multiple measures, you can actually just write in those ones right underneath the notes, because if you have a measure line, it always starts over with 1 again. Because this 4 tells us that it's 4 beats in a measure. So we're not going to go 1, 2, 3, 4 and then go on to 5. I mean, can you imagine by the end of a piece you'd be like 812 or something? So you don't really want to do that. Okay, so you can actually write in 1 at the beginning of every measure. Okay, because we have 16th notes, we want to see all the 16th notes like last time. 1 with a little e. This is a big and a big This is a very, very common rhythm, guys. 1 and a 2 and a 3 and a 4 and a. So we have this all the time. This is very similar to a fiddle shuffle as well. So if you see a quarter with 2 8th notes, or sometimes you'll see an 8th note with 2 16th notes, it can actually sometimes be the pattern for the down, dum ba da dum ba da dum ba da dum da da dum, for that little fiddle shuffle that we do all the time. The next one is actually very wordy and notey because it's a half note. It gets 2 beats, and it's going to occur on 2 because this is all 1 beat. This starts on 2. The duration of these notes tell me when this one will begin. So this is going to start on a big 2 with a little e and 3 e and because it gets 2 full beats. And then in parentheses, we're going to have 4 e and Okay? Did you get that? Hopefully. Okay, so then let's go on to our next measure. Big 1, big E this time. So it's different than this because these are reversed. And a big and with a little 1 E and, 2 E and, 3 E and, 4 E and. Okay, we see that rhythm. That's not uncommon. If you look at your Rising Zombies from Outer Space, 7th and 8th graders, it is almost the same idea. When you have the 3/16 notes with the 16th rest, it almost sounds like that. Okay, so that's a great way to do it. If you think of the last one just being staccato, it's the same rhythm. Big 2, little E, big and, little and then we have a rest here, so we're going to put it in parentheses again. That is on 3, E, and then this is nice and easy for E and So this is a quarter rest, in parentheses is a quarter note that we actually articulate and play. All right, guys, I think it covers a lot. We don't really do tied rhythms too much because we just don't do a whole lot of them because they're articulated different depending if you're a singer, a wind player, or if you're a string. So that's why we don't use those a whole lot in our T3s or T1 for the 6th graders. All right, you guys, I hope this helped. I'm going to send a worksheet, and you guys take care.